but a big welcome to everyone. It's interesting trying to create a theme for a conference, because my experience of going to conferences is that there is a theme and some of the sessions deliver to the theme, but mostly people do what they need to do. So in a sense, the giving voice to variety is embracing all of the different kind of conversations that we can have.
One thing that's important is that embitterment is associated with clinical depression, and our experience is that people become depressed when their embitterment is long-standing.
So there's really interesting stuff to get into here, which actually provides more access to flow. Because the sense is that it's kind of for the really talented, but not for me.
The thing about affective rumination is that it heightens anger. It adversely affects work performance. It's associated with behaviors that increase risk to health, like drinking excessively to reduce the ruminations.
So here we have someone who's being asked to think about what makes for effective leadership by looking at what his or her colleagues have done in their positions as leaders that made them more or less effective.
We applied the rumination scale to a rather smaller convenient sample, again, of occupational health attenders, and what you can see is there's a very strong negative correlation, or positive correlation, I should say, between affective rumination and embitterment, and a negative correlation with detachment.
We all recognise intellectually that we're all different, and early on in a team's life, that's great, until you start disagreeing, in which case it's not great, and decision-making grinds to a halt. So it's a really interesting one that you mentioned right up front, because that's a critical thing for a team to grasp, and one of the most difficult, actually.
Solidity is valuable in someone because it helps me predict what's going to be happening down here. Whereas people who are erratic, a bit more difficult to predict what's going to happen. That question, which end you prefer and why, can be asked iteratively.
Teachers teach to the test. It's not about education anymore, it's about whether you can pass the test. It's about jumping through hoops, or on a good day maybe over them. Where I come from, we just went around them. That's worrying when you start applying those techniques to human beings.
So I think it was really beneficial to see another side of psychology, because I do sports psychology, so it's a different part of it, and yeah, I think it's really beneficial.
It's been a really good range of speakers, a mix of practitioners and academic, a mix of practice and theory, very well put together, and a good lunch.
It doesn't matter which slice of bread you look at, they're all the same. And they look very simple. And it doesn't matter where you buy this stuff, it's the same. But what it takes to make this is actually really complicated.
Yeah, so underneath all of this kind of alignment and, kind of voice sharing, do people trust enough in order to share what their true contribution could be, or their real observations are, or whether they are truly aligned? Do they feel that this is a safe place to speak up?
Oh my God, there are so many big academic speeches I've heard today. Like most of them, I couldn't even understand them fully, but lots of new perspective I saw.
I was working with a highly intelligent guy the other day. We're writing a script together for role plays on a mobile learning app. And another person, more senior in the organization, had sketched out the storyline. And the storyline doesn't work, because it was an initial draft, a creative, this is what I'm thinking. And an explicit, feel free to change it, to make it, And those words were said clearly, I heard them said.